Be in a comfortable position with your feet flat on the floor, and just be aware of the breath. You don't have to resist anything or try to control anything or manipulate anything or get to a certain point. Just be aware that the body is breathing. And that it doesn't need your personal regulation. The body breathes by itself. Just be aware of that. If your mind is making noise or if emotions are being felt, then they don't matter. You don't have to do anything. Just be aware that your body is breathing. Feel what it feels like. You don't have to interpret or make any mental image. You just be aware of how it feels to be breathing. Your mind might come up with thoughts that claim to be important, but you just don't have to give them importance, just for now, just for a few moments. You don't have to give your belief to any thought, just for now. Be aware of the breathing, just what it feels like, that it happens by itself. And with the breath you can also feel that your body is alive. That the body can be felt. And that it all is emptiness. As the breath moves, as the heart beats, there's no one doing it. It's just natural, it just happens. The sense of the person, the personal thinker, comes up later and might still be begging for your attention. But that's fine. Just don't do anything about it. Just be aware of the breath. Feel the breath in the body. And that the breath isn't even anything in particular. It doesn't have a shape or a form. But you're aware of it. The same way that you're aware of everything else. You're aware of thought movements. You're aware of emotions. You're aware of sensations. You're aware of the breath. So you are the awareness of all of this. That isn't affected by any of this. You're simply aware that it's happening. And let the feeling of the breath be the anchor for the attention. Even if the attention moves out into the mind or into thinking, that doesn't matter. When you notice it, that's fine. Just feel the breath again. You don't have to feel any particular way or get to a point of silence. None of that matters. Just allow everything to be as it is, without striving to feel differently. And be aware of the breath. Relinquish any need to control. Allow without resistance. And if resistance is there, allow resistance to be as it is. Don't take responsibility for anything. Just feel the breath. And if the mind comes back, it doesn't matter. Just be aware of the breath. If you like, you can just stay with the feeling of the breath. Or you can be aware that the breath is taking place in a feeling of space, or a feeling of being, the sense of existence, or stillness surrounds the breathing and permeates the breathing. Just a sense of being. Be aware of this feeling, disregarding everything else. Being neutral, whether the attention wanders or if it remains. You can just be aware of the presence that is here, which isn't separate from who you are. And you can just be aware of the feeling of being, how it feels to be. It doesn't matter if there are thoughts, but you need not give these any value. For a moment, act like you don't know what thoughts are for, and just be the feeling of being. If you wish to just stay with the breath, then that is fine as well. Or you could feel both. And this sense of being is always here, but the attention easily gets lost in thoughts and the external world. We seem to lose sight of it. Just feel this sense of being. Don't have to add any labels or mental images. Just feel what it's like to be. And surrender any intention that you have to still the mind or to feel a certain way. Just feel what it feels like to be. And this isn't something that you have to be spoken out of or taken out of again. This feeling of being is always here. It's always in the background of our experience. Just be aware of it, or just be aware of the breath. Both are always here. Let these be the foundation for worldly experience. Since everything else arises from being, acknowledge the being, the presence, or existence as the foundation. Whatever arises as a me that is separate from this is just an idea, which you don't need to believe in. And if it does arise, it doesn't matter, because it arises from being itself. It's not as if being aware of being will inhibit your worldly activities. It actually makes them more effective. You're clearer. Your insights come from intuition and intelligence rather than past conditioning, or shoulds or shouldn'ts. Things are just more natural. Don't resist what arises. Allow what arises. Let being be the background.